Hello and welcome to Ananda Valley podcast. Today we have a special guest, a resident here at Ananda Valley. His name is Shivaananda, and we are going to talk about gardens today and see what Shiva has to say. It's beautiful to make a garden.
It is. It is absolutely like painting, but with plants. And the thing is, you don't know when you first do it. Like you have an idea, a vision, but you can't see it realized immediately. And it's divine, it's nature that really create that ultimate picture. I like to have, so there is color. Any week of the year you walk in that garden, even in winter, there's a little bit of something, not just in leaf, but actually in flower, and maybe it's putting out some scent also. Yeah, of course, there's more preponderance of that in like summer, and spring and autumn, less. But it's nice. There's always something in nature to grab you. Like you don't just walk through and only be affected like subconsciously. Is something excites you. Pull you back to your attention to the beauty in nature. Yeah. So it's just take a little bit more thought and care in what you put in and how you lay it out. Very, very important. Many gardens I've created where maybe people already had the plants and they laid them out and it was rubbish. Sometimes they spend a lot of money.
And that's because the plants don't go together, or it's the wrong plants, or what type of, like, why do you think
because
gardens
they
fail?
just put things like where there seemed to be a space. They had no aesthetic notion, let's say. So when you put plants, it's an art. So you need to have an idea what size something will grow, what is its foliage color, what is the texture. So with all those things, and also the nature of its flower, what season does its flower. So say for example you have something like a ceanothus which has a lot of blue flower, quite big chop. So you can underplant it because you also look for sort of tiers, not uniformity, to get this naturalized effect.
Yeah.
So you can underplant it with something, say like potentilla, because then blue and yellow is a very nice sort of contrast to bring out each other. Yeah, or things like that, purple and pinks, for example. You can look. But you need a little bit knowledge of plants also, because no use having something purple flowering that flowers in May, and the pink next to it is not flowering till September. So I need a little bit some knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
And also what conditions, because you can't put something that really likes a lot of shade, thinking, oh yes, that would be nice, red camellia, and putting next to something that wants a lot of sun.
Yeah, exactly. And so in the plan it also says about that it could be a place for volunteers to experiment.
Yeah, so there will be some parts, some of it will be comprehensively planted. There will be some parts which are left unplanted, like against the wall that Severin and Flo cleared. There's a bit kind of left some space there. That'll be quite a hot space actually. So there'll be some experimental beds there, and yeah, in other places too. Because to plant it out fully, which is what you really want for the low maintenance actually, you don't want lots of soil. But it's a balance between what is the purposes of the garden. So they want to keep some places and at the moment there's a huge amount of planting space. You can put them, like you have our plants arranged much more naturally around. So some plants like parsnips or some herbs actually very beautiful, like fennel. It's a wonderful plant.
Yeah.
Artichoke also is amazing sort of sculptural plant. But if you're planting things like that, put them a bit like you would a bunch of bulbs. So you can put them like in a bunch of 5 or 7 in amongst the planting. So they don't stand out as something distinctively like is there for produce.
Yeah.
It doesn't spoil the aesthetics of that sort of naturalized layout. Yeah, so I would say the key to this kind of style of garden, which is mixed borders basically.
Mixed border.
Yeah,
okay.
mixed border. So it's a mixture of shrubs, like a backbone of shrubs. Yeah, with an understory of herbaceous perennials, which includes the herbs and also medicinal plants. We are looking to incorporate that theme as well. There's already 1 or 2.
And when the volunteers experiment with it, is it then also kind of like herbs and stuff like this and flowers, or also like vegetables? Like, is it open and free of interpretation, or would there be some guidelines?
Well, I think that will depend on who is with them. Because Prakash was asking me he wanted to grow, for example, in the middle area, some parsnips and stuff. And I have no objection to that. Well, we don't want too many of the same thing. You want to keep variety. But yeah, for sure. And in any garden, even a garden like a quarter that size, you always get microclimates. People are surprised about it, but you can get some very, very different conditions because of the aspect of the sun, because of things like where there's shade from trees or walls or something, and it's make a big difference to the condition in a specific spot. So that's also important to consider. There's many, many little things actually you consider a lot. But ultimately I would say it's an art rather than a science. But of course it does help quite a lot to know what color this will flower and how big it will be, what is the texture, will it lose its leaves, will it give autumn color. Some plants actually they're quite boring, but in the autumn when they come to shed their leaves, wow, like Virginia creeper for instance. It's like it's the most beautiful plant on the planet when it's come to autumn, but the rest of the year is like you won't look at it.
Okay, thank you so much, Shivaananda, for your tips and tricks, and I hope all the people who have listened to our podcast that you've taken something very nice, some inspiration, some advice in order to make the best possible garden. Bye bye.